Live from Connecticut College in frigid New London, Connecticut, where the temps outside are in the 20s. But inside Luce Fieldhouse, the heat's been turned way up because it's semifinal day of the 2019 National Prep Basketball Championships. Game 1 features the 5-time champions Brewster Academy from New Hampshire and Massanutten Military Academy from Virginia, looking for their first ever title. And welcome once again here on Cox Your View. This the first semifinal of the day. Glenn Conticello along with Adam Finkelstein. And Adam, what a great quarterfinals we had yesterday. Great action, as we always expect with this prep basketball. A lot of Division I talent.
Oh, of course, a lot of high major talent. Two teams here today that fought back and had terrific wins yesterday. Brewster knocked off top-seeded Woodstock in just the best game I've seen all year. And Massanutten fought back from a 10-point deficit to Mount Zion in another terrific contest.
And I don't think it makes any difference that one team might have been in this situation a lot more like Brewster, a 5-time champ, in comparison Massanutten looking for their first ever title.
With the amount of turnover you see on prep rosters every year, I don't think that is too relevant. I think, certainly Jason Smith has been here before. It's not his first rodeo, as you would say, but for these kids, this is all an unprecedented experience.
Opening tap controlled by the Colonels. They're in the black uniforms trimmed in white. Brewster in the home white uniforms trimmed in blue and red. Ball goes low right baseline. Number 21 is Jaron McAllister, and he's headed to VCU, and he's headed to my score sheet. He's got the first points of the game.
Well, he's going to be a terrific player for Mike Rhodes at VCU. He's a high-level competitor, strong body, great athlete. You see the skill set starting to come too. He's going to be a fan favorite at VCU.
Number 5, Terrance Clark drives. His runner is a bit too hard. Rebound for McAllister. He races coast to coast, and he lays it in.
And that's that motor we were talking about. Jaron McAllister is going to play in attack mode all game long.
Well, you expect this in all the games here in the semifinals, and of course in the final, to be a high-octane type of game. Up and down they play. It's a deep three by Alonzo Gaffney off the front iron. Suggs with the rebound. He'll drive. Pushing into the paint. Turnaround by Giowara. 6'10" center. He's fouled.
Well, you alluded to some of the college coaches that have been here the last couple of days. Giowara certainly one of the top targets remaining on the board. Not too many big guys still available who can match his physical profile, and you're going to see here he's got some touch to work with too. The old broadcast jinx, but still in effect.
Scored 14 in their win yesterday, a real good win over Mount Zion, 87-84.
And this is a Brewster team that I thought played far and away their best basketball of the season yesterday against Woodstock. They kind of showed some signs earlier in the day. Actually had to win 2 games yesterday. The opening round win against IMG, in which they pulled away down the stretch of the second half, and then the quarterfinal game last night against Woodstock. And as I said, that's just the best basketball game I've seen all season, if not the last couple of seasons. It was a tremendous game.
There's a deep three. McAllister can't hit. Nice feed ahead for the dunk by Clark.
Well, that to me is when Brewster can get out in the open floor and start to let their length and athleticism impact the game more. That's when things can really change, and I think that's when their energy level picks up. So something to watch as this game goes on.
Darion, number 1, Darion Sebron will control the offense. This is in the corner. That shot by McAllister off the iron. Jalen LeCue headed to NC State ahead, dishing into the paint for Gaffney and deflected out.
Well, those are two guys who are potential teammates next year at NC State. Jalen LeCue, Darian Sebron matched up against each other. Future head coach Kevin Keats there in the background along the baseline.
Off the inbounds, LeCue, I'm not sure if he called bank, but he banks in the three-pointer.
I am sure, and he did not call it.
That ties it up at 5.
And that's kind of, the Jalen's known as probably the best athlete in the high school game, but his skill set, feel for the game, decision-making are really where the work in progress needs to keep coming.
Off the steal. Bobcats come ahead looking for their first lead. About 3 minutes in. First semifinal of the day. That runner in the paint off the iron. Kai Jones with the miss, and now the Colonels turn it right back to the Bobcats.
Sebron saw that trailing defender. There's head coach Kevin Keats, who actually won this event. I'm going to say it was 11 years ago. As the head coach of Hargrave Military Academy back at Fordham University. So he is no stranger to this himself.
Our officials, the crew chief is David Cruz, John Gwynn, and Derek King are the umpires. Not sure what the delay was, but
Joel Brown was tying his shoe.
okay. Giowara, low right baseline, backing into the paint. Oh, nice ball fake, but he can't hit the 2-footer.
Yeah,
gotta make that shot.
Well, and that's a footwork issue, and that's obviously a finishing issue. Didn't really step through after he got Jones up in the air. Probably should have dunked that ball instead of trying to lay it in.
LeCue, top of the circle, pulls up on the dribble, looking to feed a teammate in the paint. He had Gaffney and Clark down low and couldn't hit either of them. The pass, I think, went off the hand of Clark out of bounds, and it will be Massanutten basketball.
And that's that IQ we were talking about. You got to look at Jason Smith. I said this a couple of years ago. Brewster nationally has become the standard by which others have judged. They've just had such a string of excellence here in the last decade, not just in terms of winning championships and producing college players, but producing pros.
Oh, nice entry pass down low, but Giowara tried to two-hand and slam, and he got deflected, but got it to roll home.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. That
Yeah.
time took him a little longer than you'd like for him to gather and go up to it, but fortunate bounce there.
There's a deep three that rattles in by Gaffney.
Lonzo Gaffney, as talented of a basketball player as we've seen this week, but the production just hasn't always been there this year. He's got to start to shift that potential to production if he wants to make an immediate impact for Chris Holtman at Ohio State next year.
That floater by Suggs off the mark. Running are the Bobcats ahead. 15, Zane Meeks. He just checked in. Now he dishes right corner. That's Brown, Joel Brown. He's headed to Cal.
And he was the hero yesterday. Went the length of the floor with just a few seconds left to make the game-winning buzzer beater over Woodstock. But that's what Terrance Clark has been doing all week. It started in the NEPSAC final when he made 9 threes when Brewster knocked off Northfield Mount Herman. He did it again yesterday. The tough shot making on full display. How about that block there by Gaffney?
And that turns right into a head of the field dunk by LeCue.
As I said, when they can get out in the open floor, let their athleticism really start to take over the game, that's when they have a chance to be special.
It's an 8-0 run here for the Bobcats. They lead it 13-7. Low right baseline. Giowara's shot was deflected, but he was fouled.
Good move there from the big fella. Quick drop step baseline. The presence of mind to gather himself, avoid the travel, and take the contact.
Foul on Gaffney, his first. Giowara to the charity stripe.
Slung that one a little bit.
1 of 3 thus far from the stripe, and for the big guy, you got to assume he is going to be there an awful lot.
Hey, I'm Camille Ford, and I'm here to let you know that Contour from Cox has all the entertainment you love all in one place. Brand new movies, your favorite shows, sports, events, kids programming, music. It's all right here, ready when you are. Check it out.
Do you write songs or anything?
I don't sing my own songs.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sing that song.
Championship semifinal. We apologize. We had some technical difficulties, some power issues, but they have now been restored, and we are back with you. It's 21-12. Brewster Academy have jumped out. They were up by 11 a moment ago. It's 9 now. Glenn Conticello, Adam Finkelstein with you.
The Bobcats starting to put it all together. We saw signs beginning of the day yesterday, played their best game of the season, yesterday's quarterfinal, and continuing where they left off right here.
Just checking in a moment ago, Jamal Mashburn Jr. You'll recognize that name. He is the son of Jamal Sr. Hit that long three.
Big play right there. That's Jaron McAllister again, continuing to play in attack mode.
He's got a half dozen. The lead for Brewster is 10. They played 2 games yesterday, Adam, and you'd think maybe they'd be a bit lethargic with the 11 a.m. start today. That has not been the case.
Well, a couple of things. One, yeah, that's unusual for the prep circuit, but these guys play, whether it's EYBL, Adidas Gauntlet, or Under Armour Association, they're used to playing 2 games in a day. And when they do that in the offseason, probably don't have the depth that they have on this Brewster team when you talk about 7 or 8 high major guys who are able to spell one another. So I don't foresee that being an issue this morning. If they should advance, we'll see if the fatigue eventually catches up with them.
Now, you and I talk about this really every year, whether the fatigue would catch up. But these, again, young men are 17, 18, maybe 19 years old. You and I probably could not do it, but these guys, they rebound pretty good.
Well, and I think you have to count adrenaline in that as well. I mean, these guys are playing on a high right now. They've been waiting for it all to click all season long. It finally started to happen yesterday, and they're playing with some genuine excitement that we haven't seen for them for most of the year.
Joel Brown's runner rolls off the front of the iron.
It's the second time C. Brown was pushing the ball up the floor and just had no concept of what was going on behind him.
Colonels will keep possession. 8:59 remaining in this first half. C. Brown gives back to Suggs, who inbounded the basketball to him, and he throws up an air ball from the deep corner.
Yeah, but you got to get back in the play. You got to have a next play mentality, get back in it on defense, and you can see he's still kind of shrugging his shoulders there. You got to get back in the play.
Mashburn Jr. driving, and he gets fouled.
Well, Mashburn Jr. making the defense respect his three-point shooting to start. He gets crowded on the catch because of it, puts it on the floor, shows his ability to take contact.
Fouls on number 11, Daniel Corley, a 6'6" forward. Didn't play in their game yesterday against, or didn't score at least in the game yesterday against Mount Zion, their victory.
Corley from Maryland, got some Division I interest, still uncommitted, kind of a wiry combo forward.
Mashburn Jr. makes both. He's got 4. The lead is 12. C. Brown out up top, working on Mashburn Jr.
You know, I'm not sure. Masson Hutton's really tried to attack, play out of the post in the half court a lot here today. I'm not sure that's the way you beat this Brewster team.
They are very long inside.
Yeah, and it's not just the primary post defender, too. They've got athletes rotating over from the weak side. It'd be interesting to see if they look to attack them more off the dribble as the game goes on.
Arnold's in that man for man. And that's a 3 by Mashburn Jr. Wow.
Said foot was on the line. Joel Brown stole the inbound pass, though, and he settles it right back down. Mashburn with a tough shot, playing at a high level right now.
28-14.
That's that feel for the game again here.
The steal. And coming ahead was McAllister and the quick timeout.
Again, it starts with the turnover on the perimeter for Brewster, trying to thread the needle a little too tight. Don't have to be a home run hitter, just make basic plays that allows Massanutten to get out in the open floor. And McAllister with another 2 on the pull-up.
And welcome back to Connecticut College. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties. We are back up and running. Glenn Contosello, Adam Finkelstein. It's 30-20. Brewster Academy leading by 10.
And while you've seen that lead continue to hover around the same mark, Massanutten changing to zone, and that change has really altered the tempo of the game here. You see Jason Smith use a timeout, because that zone has been effective for Chad Myers here in the last couple of minutes.
Well, it was a 14-point lead, and now a run of 8-2, and it's down to 8. 30-22, and we get the timeout called. 5:16 remaining in this first half. Well, it's been a high-octane first half, as we suggested at the open, and we don't anticipate the rest of this half and the second half to be any different. The key will be, and you've been mentioning it, will the Colonels adjust to what they were facing in the first 10 or so minutes, and I believe they have, as you just said.
Yeah, well, Brewster scored 24 points in the first 9.5 minutes of this game. Since then, they've only had 6 in the last 5 minutes. So I think Massanutten, by going to the zone, slowing the tempo of the game down, just trying to be more controlled with their possessions, more deliberate is certainly the strategy here. Do not want to allow Brewster the run-out opportunities that not only give them easy points, but also infuse energy into their lineup. Now, here's another zone. Massanutten going to the 1-3-1 now. So after a few minutes of 2-3, they switch to 1-3-1.
Deep three by Meeks, overshot the iron. McAllister coming ahead, a bit of out of control. Bodies fly and fall to the court. We get a whistle and a blocking foul. We'll go against number 4, Jamal Mashburn Jr. That should be his first.
So give Chad Myers a lot of credit right now, not only switching the zone, but mixing up his zone looks, especially out of timeouts, negating Brewster's ability to draw something up out of the huddle. McAllister continuing to put points on the board for Massanutten. He likes to get out in transition as well. A good athlete, strong body, and again, just a high motor guy.
Makes them both. He's got 10. He leads the Colonels. They're now down by just 6, so they've gotten back into it.
And they're extending this 1-3-1 now. Really more of a half-court trap, it looks like.
Mashburn Jr. starts to drive from about 35 feet from the hoop, and as he got to the foul line extended, he'll get a reach-in and a foul. Fouls on Corley, his second.
Be interesting. Sideline out of bounds. Massanutten stays 1-3-1. Looks like they're going to go back to a 2-3 here. So again, rotating with 3 defenses here. In 15 minutes, we've seen man, 2-3, and 1-3-1 from Massanutten.
Clark, deep right sideline. He'll fire a 3, no good. And on the rebound, Meeks was fouled from behind. It should go against Corley. We'll wait. Yep, it is on Daniel Corley. That should be his 3rd. And it is, and he will rotate out.
And that you're okay with that if you're Massanutten, because Corley's a guy who comes off the bench. You want him to be providing energy, playing hard. Jarvis Vaughn's your starter at that position, the guy who's going to play the majority of your minutes there. We have a shot clock issue here. It resetted there where it shouldn't have. Going to reset to 20 seconds on the shot clock. Well, apparently the officials have now decided that the shot clock operator was in fact correct, and the stoppage was unnecessary. Shout out to the shot clock.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the gentlemen that run the scoreboard and the shot clock, boy, they do a heck of a job.
Brendan Scanlon getting it done.
Oh, nice feed down low, and Gaffney unable to finish.
Yeah, that's going to be the easiest look he has today. And unfortunately, that's kind of been synonymous with his season.
Jarvis Vaughn, number 10, backs it out. Suggs jumper.
Yeah, not the shot they were looking for. A tough 2 with a hand in your face early in the shot clock. Massanutten wants to beat this Brewster team here. They're going to need better looks than that.
Inside 4 minutes remaining in this first half. It's a 6-point game. Bobcats with possession. They have that lead.
And you can see the zone has really stagnated Brewster's attack. Just got 6 seconds in the shot clock here. Terrance Clark going to try and create.
Deep three, no good. Same team fighting for the rebound, and Sebron rips it away from his teammate, Giawara. Ahead, Sebron gets fouled.
Well, got lucky there because was a little out of control with the dribble. Kept attacking, though. He's got to be more cognizant of what's going on behind him. When he goes by somebody, he tends to forget about him, and that tip back has almost gotten him 3 times now.
Gaffney picked up the foul, his second. Sebron at the line for a couple, his first appearance. Back.
What you like about him at the next level is his versatility. You know, he plays with the ball in his hands quite a bit for Massachusetts, and at 6'7", was his length. You can see that wiry frame's just going to continue to expand once he gets into a college weight room. A guy who's going to be able to play and defend multiple positions. In this day and age of college basketball where you want multiple guys who can play pick and roll, he certainly fits that prototype, and as he continues to shoot the ball more consistently, he's going to become that much more valuable at the next level.
Well, this was a prize fight. The Colonels took a right to the jaw in the early couple of minutes of this first half. They have withstood that and have gotten right back into it. That rebound tip in by Clark, but before that it was a 4-point game. It's now 6, but good for the Military Academy to get back into it.
Well, as effective as the zone is, that's the Achilles heel, is it's not as clear your blockout responsibilities.
Inside, Giawara tried to turn and put up the 2-footer, and we will get an offensive foul.
Well, he leading with the elbow there, unfortunately.
It's like he didn't have enough room to turn around and face the iron. And
I mean, you know what? That's the way that move used to be taught. But with the way in which the rules have evolved over the years, you can't go through like that. Your elbows have to be down on that rip-through move. A couple great screens there.
Brown weaving his way around those screens. Couldn't hit the shot, but we get a foul.
Well, that's a good set out of the Brewster huddle, because not only did you have the ball screen at the top of the defense, but you had Zane Meeks screening off the help side big man underneath, so Joel Brown had the clear path to the rim.
Suggs with the personal. That's his first. Brown looking for his first point, and he drains the free throw.
And Brown is really a high character guy. He's a competitor, a leader, high level defender, dribble driver, but this is the Achilles heel. He's got to be able to make shots consistently at the next level.
Off the made free throws quickly. Colonels come ahead, and Jarvis Vaughn is called for the offensive foul.
Yeah, and that looked like he was just waiting for him, and he made no attempt to change direction there. Opportunity here. 8 points. See Jason Smith calling out the set here, so they've got a quick hitter coming up against this zone. They started to adjust to it here. It'll be interesting how long Massachusetts stays in it.
Brown stepping through the top of the zone, got into the paint. Nothing developed, so they back it out for Clark.
12 on the clock.
Again, Joel Brown gives for Terrance Clark. His 3 is good. His second of the game.
Well, if you're going to stay in the zone, you've got to know where the shooters are. And Clark, although he's missed a couple this morning, has just been shooting at such a high level the last week or so. Got a shade to his side.
That 3 from the deep corner was short, but on the rebound, the putback is slammed in by McAllister.
And imagine him playing the old type of Havoc system that Mike Rhodes, trying to re-implement there at VCU. With his energy level, his body type, and his athleticism, he's going to be spectacular going up and down for the Rams.
37-28. Now a steal by the Colonels, and it was stolen right back momentarily by Joel Brown, but as he stole that pass, his foot was out of bounds.
But you love his energy. That's the second time he's done that today. The first one came after a made basket. I think he saw that in a movie about 15 years ago. He might be too young, but you love his energy, and that's why he's a winning player. Yeah, does he have to work on his jump shot? Absolutely, but he does so many things to help you win the game, and his energy level and his motor are constants, no matter what else is going on around him.
McAllister into the paint, and he fumbles the basketball and turns it over. Walker with it, fed ahead for LeCue, and that pass goes out of bounds right off the hands of Jalen LeCue.
Just a bit outside.
One minute remaining in this first half as the Colonels roll the ball in before the clock would start, so they get the half to use their entire 30. Driving. Shot put up by Sebron off the mark, but he was bodied.
But that's exactly what we're talking about. Sebron at the next level. His ability to play pick and roll that time came off with the ball in his left hand.
Foul on LeCue, his first.
And you can see, you know, a lot of times you can judge a prospect's potential as a shooter based on what they do at the free throw line. So Sebron not yet a consistent three-point shooter, but you can see his stroke here at the stripe is a sound one. He's got a clean release, nice rotation. So that gives you hope that he's going to be able to extend that range and develop a three-point shot in the coming years.
He's 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. He's got a half dozen. Team is down 7, 37-30. Joe Brown slowly walking it ahead, gives for Mashburn Jr., steps up towards the foul line, extended. That jumper was short, hit off the side, I think, of the rim, then deflects out.
Well, there's a good defensive effort to run Mashburn off the line, and then a little bit of a fortuitous break for Madison Hutton there. The ball bounced off Anthony Walker.
Sebron came up after that play limping a bit. He's out near midcourt dribbling the basketball. I'm not sure if he's hoping the pain in his ankle goes away or he's
they're holding,
shot clock
yeah,
go down.
it's a 2-second variance between the shot clock and the game clock, so they're going to hold for 1 in theory.
He looks okay driving.
Apparently
now he'll back it out. That Lewis 3 is no good, and the rebound for Brown inside 10, so Brewster should get the final shot. Brown driving into the paint, puts it up over Giawawa, and he's able to bank it in.
Well, flashes of last night when he went coast to coast to break a tie with just 5 seconds left in the game. Joel Brown going the length of the court, showing the upper body strength to put that one home.
And here's a look at that final move as time expired in the half. Was going to go up right-handed, saw that wasn't an opportunity there, so he went to his left hand and he banked it in. Nice finish by Brown. So we're at the half, and it was a very good first half for the Brewster Bobcats. They lead it 39-30. What do you expect in the second half?
Well, I think for Madison Hutton, you can expect them to continue to change defenses. That had some, they had some success with that. And for Brewster, I think the energy level is just going to continue to be the key against that zone. They don't want to rely on making shots, although they've shot the ball well here so far this week. But they have to have energy plays, whether it's on the glass, in transition. Those are the plays that are going to help them advance to tonight's final. All
right, we're at the half. There you see our score. Brewster Academy on top. We'll take a break and be back. Stay tuned here on Cox Your View.
The madness is here once again. Join Your View all month long for our bracket-busting NCAA tournament show, March to Minneapolis. Each week, our panel of expert analysts, former coaches, and players will break down the week's hardwood action. Plus, we'll get you ready for upcoming key matchups all the way to the Final Four in Minneapolis. Don't miss it. March to Minneapolis premieres each Monday at 9 p.m. only on Your View.
It's about cars, about why we love them, the roads we drive, and the places we go. Driven, from the classics to new tech and toys to more than a couple laps around the track. Driven tells the stories from the road with a few car buying tips and some advice to keep your car on the road and off the rack. Sundays at 5:30 on Your View. Driven, the drive, the adventure. It's about cars, about why we love them, the roads we drive, and the places we go. Driven, From the classics to new tech and toys to more than a couple laps around the track, Driven tells the stories from the road with a few car buying tips and some advice to keep your car on the road and off the rack. Sundays at 5:30 on Your View. Driven, the drive, the adventure.
The madness is here once again. Join Your View all month long for our bracket-busting NCAA tournament show, March to Minneapolis. Each week, our panel of expert analysts, former coaches, and players will break down the week's hardwood action. Plus, we'll get you ready for upcoming key matchups all the way to the Final Four in Minneapolis. Don't miss it. March to Minneapolis premieres each Monday at 9 p.m. only on Your View.
I didn't tell you guys about the game the other day. My seats were right behind.
You're not thinking about if you set the alarm before leaving the house. You're thinking about how you caught the home run that extended the series to 7. You're thinking you finally have a baseball story to rival theirs. You're thinking about how you caught the ball barehanded without spilling a drop. You're not thinking about if you set the alarm. Well, maybe just a little. Stay close to the moments that matter. Cox Home Life will take care of the rest.
NBA League Pass knows this game is all about choices. Go right or left. To the bucket, left hand. Step back or drive. Lead off the glass or NBA League Pass
is all about choices. Watch the whole season. Follow my favorite team
or my favorite player.
Watch on my phone.
How you want it.
My TV.
Where you want it.
Or my tablet.
Just say NBA League Pass into your Contour voice remote to subscribe today.
And welcome back to Connecticut College here in New London, Connecticut. 2019 National Prep Basketball Championships. There's our halftime score. Brewster Academy leading Massanutten Military Academy by 9. Both teams had a lead in that first half. Brewster led by 14 at one point. Colonels only led by 2. That was very early at 7-5. So really the Bobcats have control play. We'll see what develops in the second half. It was a high-octane first half, and I think the Colonels need to make some adjustments to get back not only the lead, but try to extend that lead against a very athletic Brewster Academy squad. All right, we'll step out and come back. We'll have some first half numbers and highlights for you right after this. Stay tuned here on Cox Your View.
It's about cars, about why we love them, the roads we drive, and the places we go. Driven, from the classics to new tech and toys to more than a couple laps around the track. Driven tells the stories from the road with a few car buying tips and some advice to keep your car on the road and off the rack. Sundays at 5:30 on Your View. Driven, the drive, the adventure.
The madness is here once again. Join Your View all month long for our bracket-busting NCAA tournament show, March to Minneapolis. Each week, our panel of expert analysts, former coaches, and players will break down the week's hardwood action. Plus, we'll get you ready for upcoming key matchups all the way to the Final Four in Minneapolis. Don't miss it. March to Minneapolis premieres each Monday at 9 p.m. only on Your View.
I didn't tell you guys about the game the other day. My seats were right behind.
You're not thinking about if you set the alarm before leaving the house. You're thinking about how you caught the home run that extended the series to 7. You're thinking you finally have a baseball story to rival theirs. You're thinking about how you caught the ball barehanded without spilling a drop. You're not thinking about if you set the alarm. Well, maybe just a little. Stay close to the moments that matter. Cox Home Life will take care of the rest.
NBA League Pass knows this game is all about choices. Go right or left. To the bucket, left hand. Step back or drive. Lead off the glass or NBA League Pass
is all about choices. Watch the whole season. Follow my favorite team
or my favorite player.
Watch on my phone.
How you want it.
My TV.
Where you want it.
Or my tablet.
Just say NBA League Pass into your Contour voice remote to subscribe today.
Glenn Conticello, Adam Finkelstein back at Luce Fieldhouse here on the campus of Connecticut College in New London, Connecticut. There's our halftime score. This is game one of our semifinal doubleheader. Brewster Academy leading Massanutten Military Academy by 9 here at the half. And as we take a look at some first half highlights, Adam, quick start for Brewster.
Well, it was. I think they got off, you see the 3 there by Alonzo Gaffney. Took them a couple minutes to settle in, but then they started to make the type of athletic plays in the open floor that they were making yesterday. That's Jalen LeCue on the run out there. You can see his enthusiasm following that finish. His legs don't look heavy at all. But give Massanutten a lot of credit. Down by as many as 14, continued to fight back, changed their defenses, and were really able to slow the game down at that point. Brewster started to made a couple of shots. Terrance Clark made a 3, got on the offensive glass there, and pushed the lead back up to 9. But I think that Massanutten was certainly more successful dictating the tempo of the game in the latter portion of that first half.
Just saw a moment ago Giowara with a highlight down in the paint. Boy, they fed him an awful lot. He went to the foul line a number of times because he was getting hit when he was trying to make those turnaround couple of 2 or 3 footers. He struggled a bit from the charity stripe. He's going to have to maybe tighten that and clean that up a bit, especially in the second half and as he moves forward, because he's going to be there an awful lot.
Well, yeah, he's still evolving. He's still raw in a lot of ways. He's made tremendous strides over the course of the last 18 months here at Massanutten. But I'm not sure that playing through him in this setting on this day is going to carry Massanutten to the win. I think maybe you'll see a little more pick and roll, try and play through their guards a little bit more with Sebron and McAllister in particular.
McAllister led Massanutten with 12 first half points. Giowara had 8, 6 for Sebron and just 4 for Suggs. For Brewster Academy, they were led by Terrance Clark. The sophomore had 14 in the first half, a couple of 3-point field goals, all his points coming from the field. So he looked real good. Had 13 in game 1 yesterday, 18 in the nightcap over Woodstock. And he has continued being a scoring machine here in this first semifinal. 9 for LeCue, 7 for Gaffney, 6 for Mashburn Jr. coming off the bench. Brown had 4 for the Bobcats. All right, we'll take our final break here at the half. We'll come back and have the start of things in the second half. So stay tuned here on Cox Your View.
It's about cars, about why we love them, the roads we drive, and the places we go. Driven, from the classics to new tech and toys to more than a couple laps around the track. Driven tells the stories from the road with a few car buying tips and some advice to keep your car on the road and off the rack. Sundays at 5:30 on Your View. Driven, the drive, the adventure.
The madness is here once again. Join Your View all month long for our bracket-busting NCAA tournament show, March to Minneapolis. Each week, our panel of expert analysts, former coaches, and players will break down the week's hardwood action. Plus, we'll get you ready for upcoming key matchups all the way to the Final Four in Minneapolis. Don't miss it. March to Minneapolis premieres each Monday at 9 p.m., only on Your View.
I didn't tell you guys about the game the other day. My seats were right behind.
You're not thinking about if you set the alarm before leaving the house. You're thinking about how you caught the home run that extended the series to 7. You're thinking you finally have a baseball story to rival theirs. You're thinking about how you caught the ball barehanded without spilling a drop. You're not thinking about if you set the alarm. Well, maybe just a little. Stay close to the moments that matter. Cox Home Life will take care of the rest.
NBA League Pass knows this game is all about choices. Go right or left. To the bucket, left hand. Step back or drive. Lead off the glass or NBA League Pass
is all about choices. Watch the whole season. Follow my favorite team
or my favorite player.
Watch on my phone.
How you want it.
My TV.
Where you want it. Or my tablet.
Just say NBA League Pass into your Contour voice remote to subscribe today.
Welcome back to the Luce Fieldhouse here on the campus of Connecticut College in New London, Connecticut. Boy, it's cold outside, but these players could care less right now because it's pretty warm inside. They are playing the game that they love, and so far we've had a very entertaining first half of the semifinal doubleheader. The second semifinal will feature Scotland campus taking on Putnam Science, the reigning champs.
And that should be a terrific game, a matchup of the second and third seeds here tonight. This afternoon, I guess I should say.
All right, as we begin this second half, Colonels with possession, down 9. Sebron out up top. And he's looking at a man for man. At least it looked like a man for man as he drove. Shot's no good, but we'll get a foul. Should be on Brown, his second.
Let's see, but that's the dribble drive ability, the physicality. And remember, this is a guy who's, this time next year, he's probably going to be 20 pounds heavier, and that's just going to be straight muscle because that frame is just starting to come.
Suggs now, again looking to feed low for Giawara.
LeCue was waiting for it, though.
Driving, Suggs got bodied, missed the shot. Rebound, Giawara goes right back up with it, no good. And the rebound deflects right to LeCue.
Yeah, Giawara a little off balance on that pivot there. Couldn't get his feet under him, so they missed the opportunity for the putback. And Madison Hutton gone back to man now.
First possession of this half for the Bobcats. Driving, that one-hander by Gaffney is no good, showing some great dribbling and driving ability, just couldn't finish.
Wasted possessions here from Madison Hutton. They can't afford to do that if they want to knock off this Brewster team because, the Bobcats may have lost 7 games this season, but they're playing their best basketball of the season right now, true to any Jason Smith team over the years. They've peaked at the right time. They're starting to figure it out. Fighting fatigue as much as anything perhaps right now.
Far side, Mashburn Jr. gives back out up top for Brown. Brown and Mashburn play catch, and Mashburn Jr. buries the 3.
Yeah, he's been a big shot maker today. That pushes the lead to 12. This is what I expect to see more of, the pick and roll.
Suggs gives right corner, driving, McAllister.
Well, it was a good offensive possession because they played the pick and roll, they looked into the post, they got a ball reversal, and then they were able to attack the closeout.
The lead now is 10. Fouls on Kai Jones, that's his 3rd. After the made foul shot, it's a 9-point game.
Zane Meeks back into the game, the unsigned true senior. Contemplating a post-grad year, but he's going to have plenty of Division I offers right now. There he is with the ball.
Meeks listed at 6'9". He can take that shot, and he can make that shot.
That's what he is. He's a stretch 5. I mean, he's a 5-man who, what he lacks in athleticism and vertical spacing, he compensates for with the ability to stretch the floor out to the three-point line.
Lead is back to 12. Driving is Sebron, and he banks it in.
Yeah, big-time play there, and that's what you see from him right now. He's not a finished product, but he shows you flashes like that of what he's capable of becoming down the road.
13.5 remaining in the second half. Deep 3 by Gaffney.
Well, made 2 of those today, and I can't remember a game all year where that's been the case. So definitely providing him a lift there, and you can see it's helping his energy level as well. He got the tough block there, had a couple of rebounds in traffic, so starting to do it on a more consistent basis.
That interior defense getting back. Gaffney swatting that shot out of bounds. McAllister. Hands for Suggs, his 3 rattles around and in.
And that was a big roll. Brewster had extended that lead up to 13. That keeps him within striking distance. If you can let it hang around 12, if you're Madison Hutton, 10 or 12, you're still right there. You don't want it to get too far beyond that.
Driving, beautiful move by LeCue.
But there's got to be a second defender. You don't want to play one-on-one with Jalen LeCue. He's just too explosive.
Chihuahua can't hit the money.
Second layup he's missed today, but give Alonzo Gaffney credit. The light's starting to flicker.
There's another turnover. Coming ahead was Suggs, and as he was attempting the shot, he got hit in the head. Or the face area.
Yeah, got it in the face.
Yeah.
Headed to East Carolina to play for Joe Dooley.
Suggs will go to the charity stripe. Foul on Gaffney, his third. Chad Myers, the fifth-year head coach of the Colonels, talking with one of the officials, saying that foul was around the head, and if we're playing college rules, maybe.
It's got an argument.
Yeah.
Just 36 years old, but already a veteran of these prep sidelines. He was an assistant at Hargrave Military Academy under Kevin Keats when they won that national championship. Came back, this is his second stint at Massanutten. Really got the program rolling a few years back, then moved down to Florida with Skills Academy down there and come back a few years ago and really has gotten the program back on its feet and put it back on the national map.
Back pass for Meeks. He'll fire and drain the three, and that was a set play.
Now that was Joel Brown doing what he does, getting other guys' shots. Zane Meeks, he's been shooting the ball tremendously well.
Driving was Sebron. Go to the foul line again, and you hear that ringing in the background. That's Zane Meeks' phone ringing, because so far he's looked very, very impressive.
He has, yeah. And again, late in the year, watch this NBA range. That's a guy who's 6'9". When you can provide that type of spacing, and the way the game is being played these days, you've got immediate value.
First free throw rattles out.
Jarvis Vaughn coming back in. Mamadou Diarra having a seat. You know what I love about Sebron on that last play? You know, he talked about the flashes, but it's one thing to be built long, it's another thing to play long. His strides when he goes to the lane, there's no wasted motion. Every stride is a long one. He doesn't do it as much with his bounce in the open floor. He's got to learn to get the ball out in front of him a little bit. But half court, his instinct to be efficient with his strides is really impressive.
LeCue can't hit the three. Running are the Colonels, coming ahead in the paint. Suggs, nice feed from McAllister.
Massanutten continuing to hang around. A lot of game left to be played. Here comes LeCue on the ball screen. Didn't look to turn the corner there as part of a set. Here comes the handoff for Brown. Good show by McAllister, but a big time move by Brown.
Not sure if Meeks got that one. We'll give it to Brown.
And now it's Brewster that's going to show some zone. Maybe trying to save those legs a little bit. This is not a great shooting Massanutten team.
Fouls on Meeks. His second. 45 team fouls on Brewster here in this half. No fouls on the Colonels.
And they're upset with the officiating.
Sebron
See the length, though, the way he snaked that ball screen. Only a couple strides. Big time play there by McAllister, but another missed layup. 3 missed layups in 6 minutes for Masson Hutton.
This is Meeks' three, and again he buries it.
Well, he's just in a rhythm now. I mean, when you get hot, you get hot. And Zane Meeks loving these Connecticut College rims, although he hasn't hit them very much in the last 24 hours.
It's all been nylon. Turn around in the paint. Hit off the back iron. They fight for the rebound. We get a loose ball foul. And it will go against Walker. As you said, completely in rhythm.
No, just knocking it down. The stretch 5 man. True senior, not a post grad. Younger than most of the guys on the floor.
How is it that he hasn't had any offers to this point?
Oh, he's got offers.
Yeah. Baseline. That floater off the iron by Mashburn Jr.
But you can see Masson Hutton now trying to run him off the line.
That shot put in. Initially it was no good, but Vaughn gets the rebound and puts it right back in. His first basket. And we get a quick timeout. 58-44 is our score. The lead for Brewster Academy is 14. 13:20 remaining in this second half. And as we mentioned, this is game 1 of our semifinal doubleheader that we will have for you live on Cox Your View. Game 2 will feature Scotland Campus and Putnam Science. Putnam defeated Hargrave Military Academy in the nightcap yesterday, 77-64, and Scotland defeated Northville Mount Hermon, a very hard-fought 10-point 79-69 win.
There's Kevin Keats, the NC State head coach. Again, won a championship here when he was the head coach at Masson Hutton Military Academy, and now he's been back to recruit a number of times since.
Bobcats will have possession off the timeout. They led 39-30 at the half, and now they turn it over.
Mashburn tried to set up that ball screen, just lost control of the handle a little bit.
And now Mashburn Jr. will check out.
He's a guy, though, that you know, you talk about his shot-making ability as we have throughout the broadcast. He's got to continue to become more of a point guard. And as that happens, his game's going to go to the next level. But you love his competitiveness. He's another guy that even when things weren't going their best for Brewster this year, how about that from Sebron? Finish that point about Mashburn. He's a guy that always competes no matter what else is going on around him. Now Sebron, you see with that finish, exactly the type of high-level play that we talked about. You see the flashes. Now it's got to come out consistently.
That pass down low, intended for LeCue, stolen coming ahead. That's McAllister, could not hold on, lost it out of bounds.
Just too many easy points left on the board right now for Masson Hutton. A wide open layup or dunk.
And now Anthony Walker might have a bloody lip. He keeps checking for blood. There you see that nice finish a moment ago.
Yeah, he caught the back of somebody's head, just snapped into his lip there. He was waiting to see if he was bleeding.
And we play on. He looks to be okay. Meeks out up top. Gives for Walker. LeCue. Stutter stepping his way into the paint. Nothing there. Meeks, he has nothing as well. Good defense being played by the Colonels. 5 on the shot clock. That deep three is put in by LeCue.
Well, a big-time shot right there. If he ever starts to make that one consistently, look out, because that'll take his game to a whole nother level.
Big three-pointer. Extends the advantage back to 15. Suggs comes right back and hits his three.
It's 2 times in a row now that Brewster has made a three, and Masson Hutton has come back down and countered it to keep themselves within striking distance. Right around 10 here. A lot of time to be, 12-point game, just under 12 minutes to play.
Yeah, the Colonels, though, really can't be trading baskets.
But if they'd finished, I mean, they've given up, left 8 to 10 points on the board here in the second half alone, just on missed layups.
Almost get a steal, but the Bobcats recover. Brown loses the handle, taken by Sebron, driving on Meeks. The shot's no good. Rebound put up, also no good by Vaughn, and the loose ball gathered in by Brown.
Oh, and Suggs slow to that ball.
And now Suggs going to be called for a foul. Or not? Yes.
How does Suggs not get that ball?
Now we got a timeout call by the Bobcats with 11:02 remaining in this second half. It's a full timeout, 61-49. Brewster Academy on top. And now the Colonels down by a dozen. They've been down by 12 a couple of times in this second half.
It's been right here for a while now. The Brewster lead been hovering around 10 or 12. And Massanutten continuing to stay within striking distance. But again, it's just been the missed layups. You know, so many. I mean, there was just another one on that last sequence. That's 5 this half alone. We're only 9 minutes into the second half. I mean, it's a 12-point game. You're talking about a one-possession game if they're just making layups.
You see in our shot, that's Terrance Clark, number 5, with the ice on the left knee. He had 14 in the first half.
Well, and he's just so important to him because he's the guy who has been able to, as just a sophomore, been able to put them on his back at times. Certainly in the NEPSAC finals, that was the case. He knocks down 9 threes, goes for 35, I believe it was 35, maybe 36 points. Saw that tough shot-making ability early, but that's where the depth of Brewster going to help.
We might not see him the rest of this half. We will watch and see. Bobcats with possession off the timeout. Brown and Q play catch. He had Meeks back door, couldn't find him. 10 seconds now on the shot clock. Joel Brown out of top. Working on Armstrong, driving. The floater's off the mark, but we get a foul.
Well, he just does such a good job of getting his body on you, initiating that contact. And then when he gets the angle, going up through the arm.
Foul on Armstrong, his first. That will send Joel Brown to the charity stripe for a couple. He's 2 for 2 thus far. Those 2 foul shots coming back in the first half, but he misses here.
Mashburn coming back into the game here. Going to continue to rotate those guards in and out. He's got Mashburn, Brown, LeCue.
One of 2 for Brown. 13-point Brewster Academy advantage. Colonels now with possession. And they face the zone here. Sebron trying to feed down low for Vaughn.
Yeah, it's a tough pass.
Really?
Yep, tough pass.
10 feet, maybe 12 feet away from your intended receiver. And
yeah, and it's a bullet too. Yeah. So that's, you're in traffic. You got to catch that thing coming in at, you know, full speed up above your head. That's a tough pass to catch.
Ten minutes remaining, second half. Mashburn Jr. can't hit the open J. Rebound deflects back towards the iron. I think that was Walker got a hand to bat it back towards the iron. Now Meeks up top. This time he cannot hit the 3, and the rebound is taken by Walker.
Yeah, Brewster just first one to the loose balls here.
You'd think at some point in this game, I'm just going to stop beating a dead horse. They're going to start to get a bit lethargic because this is their 3rd game in barely a day and a half. But boy, I don't think so.
Well, when you have different guys like that stepping up, I mean, Baker McCann comes off the bench, not a guy who's been a big, you know, he's had some DNPs this season, but talk about being ready when your name is called. Ben Baker McMahon, pardon me. Watch this move here, quick jab step, Gets right through the lane, goes to his offhand. He's a lefty, making that shot with his right hand, the California native.
$11 now for Sebron. Couple of substitutions for the Bobcats. We'll give them to you as we go. 9:19 remaining in the second half. The winner of this first semifinal will play in the final tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time here from Connecticut College in New London, Connecticut. We will have it for you right here on Cox Your View.
Madison Hutton going to use a 30-second timeout. Again, just trying to keep this one close, hanging around, 13-point lead.
I'd like to suggest they need to get some stops here to chip it away, but
need
they've
to make
gotten them.
layups.
They just, I just
Need
want
to
to say,
make layups.
they need to make those bunnies, and they just have not been able to.
And again, keep in mind that Brewster had, I think it was 24 points in the first 9.5 minutes of the game. So since then, you know, they're still scoring points, but they've not at the same pace. It's just insustainable for Madison Hutton to keep up with. So that defensively, they've done a better job here in the last 20 minutes of the game clock.
Adam, what do most teams do between games, the semifinals and they begin in the morning, and then they have to come back and play at 7 o'clock at night? That's not easy to do.
No, I think they've got to hydrate first and foremost. It's always interesting. That's where, you know, you asked me earlier, Glenn, does experience matter? Well, that may be one area in which it does, because this is something that not just Jason Smith, but his assistant Josh Lee, who is I want to make sure I say it right, who's a full-time physical therapist, and really, you know, the guy who handles a lot of the strength and conditioning stuff for this team. That's when their understanding of this process really comes in handy, because they're going to hydrate their guys, they're going to get them off their feet, and then they'll probably come back and start to get them loosened up, you know, about an hour and a half before the final tonight.
Wow, what a play by Jalen LeCue.
I think his legs are still okay.
You think? 15-point lead now for the Bobcats. Boy, their energy level is not waning at all.
No, Jalen's played with a definite intensity about him in the last 2 days.
Foul on Meeks, that's his third. Correction, that foul was on Kai Jones. That's his third. Correction, his fourth. And now Meeks will have to come back in and replace him.
And Jones a guy who, in my mind, wouldn't shock me if 5 years from now he ends up being the best player to come out of this Brewster team, but he's a ways away right now. I think even, you know, you look at his national ranking and where we have him in ESPN, and a lot of that is due to his potential over his production. I think there's, you know, gonna have to temper some of those expectations in terms of the immediate impact next year at Texas, but under Shaka Smart's guidance, this is a guy who can continue to get better and turn those incredible natural tools into consistent production. And when that happens, you know, 4 or 5 years down the road, he's got a chance to be special.
Driving, that shot was banked in by Mashburn Jr., but they will wave it off before the shot. He was held by Suggs. That should be 3 on Brandon Suggs. Just making a note here on my stat sheet, Adam. There's 8 minutes to go. I made the note it was 8:15 to go, and it was a 12-point game. And if the Colonels want to win this game, their run to get back into it, meaning by a basket or if not even, has to begin now.
Well, I think, you know, we've talked a lot about finishing, but the other thing I'll say is, like, they're the team with fresher legs. They should be the team that's playing with higher energy. And right now they're getting beat to loose balls and things like that.
Sebron was trying to fix his sneaker, so it was really a 5-on-4. But the Bobcats didn't recognize it. Their bench was screaming, but they
catch.
Do not get the basket quickly ahead. Colonel's shot was no good, and on the rebound, we'll get a whistle loose ball foul.
Again, though, those are just point-blank range, and yeah, you got fouled on the second one, but those are the shots. If you're going to make a run, you've got to not only make that, you've got to finish through that, draw the three-point play.
Yeah, foul. Adam on Alonzo Gaffney, that's number 4. So now 2 Bobcats with 4 fouls. Kai Jones already on the bench, and now Gaffney heading there after this free throw.
Well, it's 9. Brewster's got 9 team fouls to Massanutton's 3 at the moment, so.
There's that last foul.
100% right. It is the wrong shooter.
It should be Sebron. It was Sebron. I'm not sure what Brewster is questioning. We just saw the highlight, and it was clearly.
Yep, my mistake. It's the right guy.
Darion Sebron missed the first. They'll get one more. The officials are talking about it. Crew chief is Dave Cruz. He's talking with Derek King. Here's another look at that last play. The pass was down low. It is 5. It is 5. We were looking at the wrong replay, I guess, maybe a moment ago.
No, they're wrong.
It clearly was. Giowara is at the foul line. So they're not going to count that missed initial free throw.
Either way.
Now we're even.
Ball don't lie, as Rashid would say. All's well that ends well, right?
All right. 9 now for Mamadou Giowara.
And again, still in striking. I mean, it's a 12-point game. You got Terrance Clark out of the game. You got Kai Jones with 4. Walker has 4 as well.
Yes.
Good ball movement there.
Driving that runner by LeCue.
But that's what you know, especially at the next level. You know, Jalen LeCue wants to be a point guard. He's not there yet, but you get a defender who is in motion and he's able to attack closeouts. That's when, you know, he's potentially unstoppable.
Fouls on Suggs, his 4th. First foul shot by LeCue, no good. I think I said to you, Anthony, you had questioned me, Walker. No, Walker doesn't have 4. Kai Jones and Gaffney have 4 apiece for Brewster, and now Suggs has 4 for the Colonels.
How about Baker McMahon, though, the guy who's, jeez. Oh!
That was something.
I mean, it started with Baker McMahon making that hustle play. Massanutton didn't match up off that offensive rebound, and then Walker coming down the lane. Call him the Skywalker.
In the paint, that shot no good. Great effort, though, by McAllister.
But that's what you know, that's McAllister's value, is the guy who's going to compete and fight when you know, and try and raise the level of the guys around him. That's why VCU is going to love this guy.
And now Meeks has 4.
Everybody's got 4.
McAllister hits the first, now has 18. It's a 13-point game. It's hovered around 12, 13, 14 last 4 or 5 minutes. It's now 12.
Still right there.
Yep.
Can't afford any more wasted opportunities, though, if you're Massanutton. And your energy level has gotta improve here.
Baseline, Baker McMahon with the pretty bank.
I mean, I said it before, I'll say it again, being ready when your number is called, really stepping up in these big moments here.
He's got 4 off the bench.
Smart decision, though, to attack Walker with those 4 fouls. Walker does a smart thing, backs away. Sebron connects off the glass despite being off balance.
Sebron now with 14. Point game, 6 minutes to go. Now the clock becomes the enemy as well for the Colonels.
A lot of time, though. 6 minutes, this is a lot of time.
Sebron puts on the brakes, the foul line, now continues his drive, and he rolls it in.
Yeah, doing the smart thing now, playing off the dribble and attacking the Brewster Bigs, who are all in foul trouble, cutting it to 10.
5:40 remaining, second half. Colonels need another stop right here. Baker McMahon baseline, throws it away. His first mistake off the bench. And they're running. The Colonels ahead. McAllister, and he's fouled. Fouls on LeCue, his second. But they are over the 10-team limit. So, helping out the cause for the Colonels, if they want to come all the way back, is that they will be at the foul line shooting at least 2 the rest of the way.
Yeah, those have a way of evening themselves out, though, before the game's over. So I think if, Brewster wants to be deliberate with their possessions, make sure they utilize the clock to their advantage, but I think they're going to want to put pressure on Madison Hutton's defense and the officials, quite frankly, to blow the whistle. So look for them to be aggressive off the bounce, perhaps later in possessions, but certainly something to watch down the stretch of the last 5.5 minutes.
Second is good. 20 for McAllister.
The other thing it does, Glenn, is Madison Hutton's got some fouls to work with here. Still have a few before they get into the bonus. Be interesting to see, just a 3-possession game now, if they look to extend their pressure at all.
Kai Jones back in the game. Ball goes low baseline. Anthony Walker gets stripped, but he was fouled. Fouls on Brandon Suggs, and that is his 5th, and he is done. So Suggs with 4 at the half, had 8 in his second half, finishing with a dozen is done for the Colonels with 5:11 on the clock. Daniel Corley will replace Suggs.
Walker headed to the University of Miami next year, going to continue his development. This is a guy who was playing on his high school JV team 2 years ago, Glenn. See his talent just starting to tap into it.
Like to meet that varsity coach. Our side, Corley drives into the paint with the left hand. The runner's no good, but he got hit in the head. And the call against Walker, his second. Corley looking for his first point.
Well, that's the story of this second half. Points left on the board.
I think you got to go back to the first half as well. Didn't we see some issues as well?
I mean,
they've had those easy. I'm not going to say everything's easy, but had those shots that you would assume 90% of the time you're going to make.
And those are the ones that are just backbreaking for a coach, because you can do everything but make the layups for them.
71-62. The lead for Brewster is 9. LeCue now up top with Brown, and they will take some time off their shot clock, down to 8. And now losing the dribble was Brown, and they lose possession.
3-on-1, they've got to convert.
There's the alley-oop, and they, at least to this point, do not finish that break. They do keep possession now. 20 on the shot clock to the foul line. McAllister a bit out of control, so he'll back it out. Sebron will take the 3. It's no good. He gets it back deep underneath the hoop. Can't finish. And I get a foul on Vaughn. Stops the clock. 4:09 remaining. second half. The winner moves on to the Prep Championship tonight at 7 p.m.
Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
Do you take a nap during the break? Does
I mean,
that help?
listen, this
Or
is
that hurt?
like, for me, this is like, hey, do you want to get on the elliptical twice in a day? And so I can't say I've ever made the answered yes to that. So I don't know.
Right.
I'm going to yield to Josh Lee on that one.
LeCue low for Jones. Kai Jones's turnaround rims out. It was halfway down and spun out. We get a whistle and a foul. Foul's on Jarvis Vaughn. That's his fourth. We'll send Kai Jones to the charity stripe. He's headed to Texas. 6'10" forward, had 6 points in game one yesterday, 14 in the nightcap, looking for his first point here, and he gets it.
Made that huge three, though, down the stretch of that. With I believe it was about a minute and a half left. Woodstock was up 3, and Kai Jones was one of those, no, okay, when he banged that three to tie the game.
Makes them both. The lead is back to 11. 3:45 on the clock. Colonels have to run their offense with a bit more urgency here.
That's that energy level of Joel Brown. So you got to love guys like Joel Brown and Jaron McAllister, because they are just.
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that is right.
I don't think Vaughn thought that beautiful layup was going to go in, and he grabbed the rim as it was going in, and they wave it off.
Again,
here we'll get another look.
So many points left. I mean, a clear foul on LeCue there. Ugh. What are you doing?
And McAllister misses the free throw. He's got 20 points today, 12 in the first half, 8 here in the second half. That's his second miss from the charity stripe.
He just had so many opportunities. And there's still 3.5 minutes to go, but those are the types of chances that are going to cause Coach Meyer some sleepless nights. Because, again, you can do everything for you guys, but you can't make the layups for them.
Now we'll see how much of the air the Bobcats take out of the basketball here. And,
we got 10 on the clock.
Yep. Still haven't shot with 6. They do take the shot from the corner. It's no good from Walker. Now the rebound, it deflects all the way to midcourt. Getting stripped was Sabran. Feeds ahead off the steal to Jones, and he dunks.
And what a swing that was. What looked like a 3-on-1 run out for Masson Hutton. LeCue takes it away. And instead of maybe an 8-point game, you've got a 12-point game with 2:40 on the clock.
McAllister trying to do it all here for the Colonels. He gets fouled along the baseline. It's going to be on Joel Brown, his fourth. McAllister back at the charity stripe for 2. The first is good. He's leading all scorers here today, Adam, with the 22 points. Now it's 23.
Masson Hutton going to use that time. One more timeout, try and rally the guys. This is where I would expect to see some full court pressure here for Masson Hutton.
A lot of fouls called in the second half. Gaffney, Brown, Meeks, and Jones for Brewster Academy with 4 each. And for Masson Hutton, Suggs has fouled out. Vaughn has 4, and Corley has 3, and that's it for the Colonels.
It's amazing that Brewster hasn't fouled anybody out yet. I mean, just talk about controlling your rotation, managing fouls appropriately. Still 2:41 to go in the game, but again, you can see Brewster now playing without Terrance Clark. Hopefully, I don't think it's anything serious, but banged that knee. So you've got Jalen LeCue, Joel Brown, and Ben Baker McMahon stepped up in a big way. Jamal Mashburn Jr. made big plays here. So 2:41 left to close this one out, but here's the full court pressure we were expecting.
Mashburn Jr. gets the inbounds pass, gets back to Brown, who feeds Mashburn Jr. up near midcourt, so they break the press. 2.5 remaining. Mashburn driving, the runner banked in. That was nice.
Yeah, and again, the second time we've seen him make a play like that, he gets crowded on the perimeter. He puts it on the floor. He plays strong with the ball. That's what I like about him. In addition to his shot making, he pounds that ball, comes back into his hand. He can absorb contact.
Deep three by McAllister, no good. Offensive rebound, Sebron put it up, no good. They lose and battle for that loose ball. McAllister gets it, and it's put in. 25 now for McAllister. Bobcats are running there. They had a 10-point lead. They can't hit the shot. Colonels have it back. Baseline, that fadeaway short by McAllister. And off the rebound, Jones is fouled.
Tom Espinoza, head coach, Putnam Science Academy, the defending champions here, getting ready for their semifinal.
Their fans made a lot of noise yesterday.
Well, they have the benefit of being the closest school to this facility, so they did come out and support yesterday. Seen that over the years. Different schools. Remember the year that Hargrave won it, their second championship in Connecticut, they had such a travel party with them that year. Of course, that was first championship was under Kevin Keats, second one under A.W. Hamilton, who's now the head coach at Eastern Kentucky, but they brought their own fans that weekend.
Yes, I remember that. Basket by McAllister makes it a 9-point game, 78-69. Minute 26 on the clock.
Now it's just going to be about free throws. You make free throws, you take care of the ball for Brewster, you advance to that final. You've got about 6 hours between games to hydrate, try and get your legs back.
LeCue hits the first.
Would be the first time in this program's history that a team went from the play-in game to a championship. I have to see if anyone has done the play-in game to the final. I think the answer is no, but I know no one has gone from the first round all the way to the championship. So Brewster pretty close to just one game away at this point. Wow.
Sebron with the dunk. Might be too little too late, though.
75 seconds left, 3-possession game. You know, again, if Brewster takes care of the ball and makes free throws, they control their own destiny, but that's why they play the game. Got to do those two things.
Although look at that last basket.
Connor Withers coming on the floor for Massanutten. Give him one more floor spacer here. 3-point shooting threat.
Now Corley is fouled. 96 seconds on the clock. It's a 10-point game.
And for Massanutten, this is what you want. You want a chance to put points on the board with the clock stopped, set your defense.
Teams over the 10-team foul limit, so everybody's shooting two the rest of the way, and Corley misses the second.
Massanutten.
Fouls on Vaughn. That should be his fifth. And it is. Armstrong will come back in to replace Vaughn, who is disqualified with the 5 fouls.
Mashburn just been so impressed by his toughness year in and year out. I mean, this season has been such a journey for Brewster, but Mashburn's consistency, you know, you'd think that the guy with the famous father who played in the NBA might have some entitlement issues. It couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, this kid is he's shown himself to be a competitor throughout the course of the season. His motor has been a constant, even when that hasn't necessarily been the case for all those around him. Remember, at the beginning of the year, National Prep Showcase, Brewster lost 2 games for the first time in program history, and it was Mashburn was the guy who was still competing, still playing hard down the stretch no matter what, and I think that says a lot about him and his character.
I had a chance to talk with him before the game today. Very well-spoken young man.
Oh, he's a great student. Yeah, being recruited by a variety of schools, but Harvard and other Ivy League schools among them. Didn't mean to interrupt you there. Go on.
Okay. No, he was just commenting that his parents were not going to be able to make it here today, hoping they're watching in Florida on Your View.
Now, Brewster going to extend their defense a little bit. Not necessarily to foul, just to try and slow Massachusetts down. Bring McAllister through an elevator screen there. His 3 off the mark.
Rebound. Sebron, nothing there. Backs it out for McAllister. He again will fire the 3, and again can't hit. And the rebound for Gaffney, and we'll get a loose ball foul.
Gaffney going to go to the free throw line here. Gaffney really did give him a spark in the first half. It been, we talked a little bit about his potential and the process of turning that into more consistent production, but his tools are off the charts. I mean, you look at that body type, and he's another one that, you know, a year from now he's going to be wearing 20 pounds of more muscle on him. 2 years from now it might be 40 pounds. So you think about a guy who's got those shoulders and that length and that kind of fluidity and athleticism. You put 40 pounds of muscle on him. He's got touch to develop as a shooter. As a 4-man, the ability to impact the game in different ways. So is he a finished product now? No, not even close. But under Chris Holtman, got a chance to really take his game to the next level and start to put some pieces together.
McAllister working the baseline. We get a whistle. And we get a foul, blocking foul on Gaffney, and that is his 5th, so he will foul out. He will leave with 12 points, very active defensively as well. He looked pretty impressive here in this semifinal. And now they're
going to go with 4 guards now for Brewster to break this pressure, get their best free throw shooters on the court, or at least those guys who are still eligible. Good make there. McAllister, again, he's been the most impressive guy here for Massachusetts today. We talked about Mashburn, how his motor's a constant. That's what you love about McAllister. I mean, he just plays hard at every opportunity.
Makes 1 of 2. He's got 28. But it probably won't be enough. Ron McAllister had 26 points in yesterday's 87-84 win over Mount Zion. Comes back with 28 more here in the semifinal. He's headed to VCU. Jalen LeCue at the foul line, and he makes both.
Big makes for LeCue.
Quietly, 20 points, had 9 at the half.
His best performance of the tournament thus far. Couldn't have come at a more important time.
LeCue had 12 in game 1 yesterday in the win over IMG, and he came back with 15 in the nightcap win, the quarterfinals over Woodstock Academy, and let's come back here in the semifinals with the good effort with 20 points.
Well, if Terrance Clark can't go tonight, they're going to need another big performance from him in the championship game, because they've got one heck of a game coming up, whether it's Scotland or Putnam. And again, you've got to give this guy so much credit. Well, there you see Jalen McHugh, but Ben Baker McMahon at the free throw line, going to be the unsung hero of this game, a guy who, when Terrance Clark went down, got guys who are fatigued, he has stepped up, made big plays here in the second half, and just got to be happy for a guy like that who comes to work every day. Here's a chance for a punctuation mark. Who's tired? He's not tired.
22 for LeCue. That was pretty.
Don't tell me he's tired. He could play 3 more games.
And that missed 3 will end it as the horn sounds, ending this first semifinal, and the Brewster Academy Bobcats from Brewster, New Hampshire will move on to the National Prep Championship Final, which comes up tonight at 7 p.m. with a 91-73 victory over Massanutten Military Academy here in Connecticut.
Well, a terrific effort for a Brewster team that is putting it together at just the right time, really figuring it out, persevering here. 3 wins in the last 28 hours, and maybe just what the doctor ordered for the Bobcats.
Unofficially, I have LeCue leading the way for Brewster Academy with 22, 14 for Clark, and that was in the first half, and then we saw he had the ice on the knee, so he was done for the game, and hopefully he will be back tonight at 7. We'll see. 13 for Mashburn Jr. coming off the bench, and a dozen for Alonzo Gaffney.